First, I start off by using my Hourglass Veil Mineral Primer to smooth out my skin and blur my pores before putting any base makeup on it. After it's evenly distributed, I use my Clea Skin Tint as my base makeup. I start by pumping the skin tint on the back of my hand and using my finger to warm it up first. Then I distribute it section by section on my face and blend it out with my foundation puff. Since it's a skin tint, it doesn't really provide full coverage, but it hides my redness from my rosacea quite well. Next, I'm using a cream blush from Hintor with the shade MV01. I use the under eye blush placement, mostly focusing the blush on my inner cheeks and not going past the end of my eyebrows. Now I'm using a contour palette from Judy Doll in shade 01. I first use the top contour shade for my nose, focusing on the tip of my nose first, just emphasizing the shape of my nose. As I'm moving the brush, I lightly tap it on my face so that I don't disturb the base product underneath. Then I move on to the upper nose bridge, which connects to my brow bone. Next, I'm using the bottom contour shade to emphasize my jawline, and I also like putting some contour on top of my cheekbones. I think it helps direct focus to the center of my face. Now I'm using the matte highlight shade of the contour palette as a base for my eye makeup. So I'm putting it all over my upper lid as well as the bottom aegosal area. I think it helped by making the colors pop more. I look a bit weird in this stage, but trust the process, guys. Next, I'm using an eyeshadow palette from Clio. And I first start off by using the purple shade as the base for my entire upper lid. With this palette, you kind of have to build the shade a lot so that the color really pops out on camera. Then I'm using a very light pink shade to highlight my aegosal. I also blended it up to the purple on my upper eyelids. Now I'm using a darker shade on the lower part of my eye to give an enlarging effect. Now I'm using a very pale blue from another eyeshadow palette. I think it's a MGL Xenon palette, but I also think it's fake. I already bought it, so I guess I'm still gonna use it. But anyway, I put the color on the inner corner of my eye, then blended it out a bit into the purple. Now going back to the Clio palette, I'm using the darkest shade to kind of map out where I'm going to put my eyeliner. And for the favorite part of my eye makeup, I start by using a kind of silver glitter from the Xenon palette and putting it in the inner corner of my eye. I started by using a brush, but then I found that it wasn't really giving the look that I was looking for, so I just used my finger instead. Now I'm using an eyeshadow from Hintour and taking the purple glitter and putting it on my inner eyelid. Now I'm using the eyeliner from Heroine Make in the shade 01. After that's done, I curl my lashes and put on some mascara. I'm using the Heroine Make Super Waterproof Long and Curl Mascara. We're almost done with the eye makeup. The finishing touch is the fake lashes. It was then that I only realized that I forgot to bring my tweezers, so I just had to put them on with my fingers. I kinda struggled a bit, but I think it turned out fine. Last but not least, I'm using the Laneige Glaze Crease Tinted Lip Serum in the shade Cinnamon Sugar. And that's all for the makeup tutorial. I hope you guys enjoyed and see you guys next time.